Oh, we've beat the final boss. I don't think we beat the game properly though. I think there's still... We get an ending, but it's not the... It's not the true ending.
As you will.
That run, or we've done 2 runs. That run was about 3 hours long. That's only two areas.
I remember everything now. I know why I deserve to be here. The crash. That's why I belong. It's always the crash I return to.
The crash? You doing much this weekend, kitten? I am going to see... What am I going to see? Legally Blonde in the West End, which is sort of like America's Broadway. Looking forward to it. Going to see that tomorrow. So, this is the car. It's underwater. Very clever game. Can't see anything inside it. Let's continue. So we should get the final scene, or one of the final scenes. Okay, here's the blob. So that's the thing we saw in the painting in a building. How you doing, Blue Dahlia? You alright? Hope you're good. How you doing?
Brought me here.
So that's the one we saw in the painting in the house. This is essentially big spoilers if you haven't played Returnal. This is literally the final ending. You finally piece everything together. Of course. It is Friday. Looking forward to the weekend. I was just saying to Kitten, I'm going to see Legally Blonde the musical on not on Broadway because that's America, on the West End. It is the 13th though. That's right. It is Friday the 13th. That's the octopus we keep seeing, and that's Helios. I'm guessing that's her son. That's the song we've been hearing throughout the whole game. Is the moon representing the orb that we keep seeing? Is that what that's representing?
Do you see the white shadow?
Do we see the white shadow? It is a great movie. It is a very good movie. My girlfriend's been wanting to see it in West End for ages, but it hasn't been on, and now it's just come back. 8:36 PM. We've been seeing that time throughout the whole game. You actually hit the astronaut. You hit the astronaut there. I thought the astronaut might be a piece of her imagination. Why am I shaking so much? My god. I think it's because we finally figure out what's happened in this game. So there's the thing we found at the end. Something dragged her off. So that was one ending, but apparently that's not the true ending. There's another ending. And we just saw the car at the bottom of the lake when we were playing the game. And apparently you have to get 5 keys and you open the car and you get the true ending. I'm not sure how hard it is to get the true ending. I know you have to get 5 pieces throughout each individual level. And I'm guessing you have to beat the final boss again.
I birthed destruction. I am destruction. For the cycle to end, I must not just remember.
It's a very good game, this. You've never even heard of this game. It's called Returnal. It came out last year on PS5 only. It is a roguelike third-person shooter. So Rogue, if you're not aware of roguelikes, they are loop games. So essentially there's a beginning and an end of the game, and as you go through, if you die, you restart. You go right back to the start with nothing. Hopefully they will release it on PC, because it was a lot of people's favourite games, like Game of the Year last year. It was a lot of people's favourite game last year, and I can see why. It is very good. I was struggling with it to begin with, because I thought you don't get, when you die and you restart, you don't see the improvement. You literally start again with nothing. On Assassin's Creed. Which Assassin's Creed was he hooked on? I'll have to tease him about it. Personal item improves chance of finding salvage from hostile. That's good. As you can see, all of them. I was playing, what was I playing? Odyssey for quite a while. Oh, well, there you are. Yeah, I did like Odyssey. That was a good one. Did I platinum it? I think I platinumed it. Which was nails, because you had to search every single area of the map. You had to go to every single area. Pretty tough. So I'm not sure what I'm doing now. I think I'm supposed to be finding different parts. Go for a carbine. I think I'm supposed to be finding different parts. Oh god. One more. No, there's not one more. Good. Yes, there is one more. I can hear it. You're up there. You even went to see the movie? I don't think I've even seen the movie yet, honestly. The Assassin's Creed movie. Increase proficiency rate? I don't think I need proficiency rate. Proficiency's that, isn't it? Yeah, why not? Yeah, I don't think I've seen the movie yet. I should download it and watch it. What did he think of it? Did he say? Did he say what if he liked it or not? I think I've heard mixed reviews from it, but I'm not too fussed, to be honest. Sometimes the worst movies are the best movies. Speaking of movies, he liked it. Sweet. My question for today was, what's your favourite movie? My caveat is that opinion's subjective. Exactly. I was just about to say, the caveat is that, not caveat, but your favourite movie doesn't have to be the best movie in the world. My favourite movie is Tron Legacy. Definitely not the best movie ever made. I agree with that. But I really enjoy it. I think it's great. Stardust. Have I seen Stardust? I'm sure I have. I definitely haven't watched it for a long time. If I have, I wouldn't remember it. I need to go over there. So, this isn't giving me a challenge. Like, it's not telling me what to do, which I'm quite worried about. God. You another. Is that it? Can I go on this now? No, guess not. Guess not. Robert De Niro, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Claire Danes. Sure. I must have seen it. I must have. You know what we're gonna do? Do something different. Because I'm not first. A star that falls to earth and witches are trying to find Anita. It's a star that falls to earth and witches are trying to find Anita. Doesn't ring a bell, to be honest. I'm sure. Like the name Stardust. It's on Netflix now. I should add it to the list as well. I probably will. I am a movie junkie. I do like watching movies. I recognise the name Stardust, but your description doesn't ring a bell. So maybe I have not seen it. What we're going to do is, because essentially I know what happens, and I'm keen, I think I'm happy that I played this and completed the game. I've got through every biome. This wasn't my favourite game of all time. I can understand why people love it. But to me it wasn't my favourite game. What am I trying to look for? This one I'm trying to look for. Is there a way I can look for? So I'm only 28% through the trophies. Is that right? Oh yeah, 21 out of... No, that's not correct. Surely not. Let me try and find the trophies. Where are they? Only 28%. Ah, okay, that's why. So I'm 30% through the main game. A lot of people have got it. The platinum trophy. Ah, okay, a lot of them are that stuff. I may come back to it. I may do it on myself, but I think I may come... Yeah, I have been playing the game whilst I've been offline, just doing a few runs. So I may come back and platinum it before I what's it called, trade it in. But I think for now, for streaming purposes, I want to move on. I think I've got all that I can out of it for streaming. It would probably take another full stream to do the side or the final, get the true ending. Problem is, I've already seen the true ending, so there's nothing for me to experience, and I sort of understand the full story of the game. And because I've essentially beat the game. I've done all the way and got to part of the story. Yeah, I got spoiled, Vitaly. It has been out for a year, so, and I think curiosity got the better of me with this game. To me, I know I say this quite a lot. I prefer games that essentially spell out the main story. I do appreciate games like this though, where you do have to deep dive, because this doesn't tell you everything. There are still theories, essentially. So I think what we'll do to finish this game off is we shall look at the alternate ending, or the true ending, and we'll discuss, I think, my theories about what happened in the what's happening in the game. Let me just Returnal full, what's it called? Full ending? True ending. Let's go. One thing I need to do. Let's go to system. I may go muted for a second. Still there? Yeah, I'm still there. Sure, that's all good. Let me see you. I usually stream on Wednesdays. So Wednesdays, 7 PM BST, British Summer Time, which I think is 2 PM Eastern Daylight Times, and Fridays at 6 PM British Summer Time, which is 1 PM Eastern, I believe. Right, let me... Okay, so this is the true ending for Returnal, I think.
This will be the last time I return.
Don't know why it's so quiet. Why is it so quiet?
Mother, I'm home. I regret what happened.
So you couldn't go down here originally in the game. So this is the first time that you can go down into this bit in that we learn about. We must die to live. So this is a weird bit that I think I've seen, where she does talk about her mother being in a wheelchair. Is this the weird bit? No worries, Blue Dahlia. Thank you so much. Great to see you too. She sat in a wheelchair.
We were both broken.
Thank you. Yeah, hopefully see you again soon. Where's this? One thing I haven't pieced out is who these... Who... Oh, it's up... Okay. Up there, that's the place we've not been able to reach yet. And there's the car key. Maybe if you only have to get pieces in this area... Oh no, you do have to face him again. Fair enough. Okay, we're happy that you defeat the guy. That's the normal ending, isn't it? Yeah. True ending. Okay, the true ending then. So you find keys, you find bits around the maps, I think. I think you find one piece in each of the biomes, which turn into the car key that we saw. And that means you can open the car, because there's some interesting things in the car, apparently. Maybe? Does she open it? Because essentially her son should still be in there because she left. And this is where you get the full... So I think that's her mother, which I don't quite understand what's going on there. It's like something from Alien, doesn't it? Is that how she sees her mother? Because that's Thea.
Selene.
So that was the same thing that was on the phone as well. That was on the recording. Okay, and now we assume that we are in Selene's... We assume we're in Selene's face in the astronaut suit. See there, he didn't hit the astronaut. But Selene was in the car. So this is now Selene.
Helios.
And she calls out for Helios, who is her son, who she left in the car. Selene was driving with Helios, her son, in the back of the car, and she fell off the bridge. Now, the true ending is that she swims to the surface, right? We know from the manuscripts that we found that she was struggling with the fact that I don't believe she was ever an astronaut. She never went into space. We found a letter that was a rejection letter for her to go into outer space, I believe. I don't think she ever did. I think because of her, she had a not the best relationship with her mother, who was an astronaut. So she wanted to follow in her mother's footsteps and become an astronaut. But also the fact that she didn't really get on with her. She's always been pining to live up to her mother's eyes, essentially. But she's never been able to do it. And she got refused to become an astronaut or go into space. That sort of started to lead into depression. And I think that happened on the same day that the crash happened. She got refused that on the same day. So she wanted to emulate her mother, who she didn't really get on with that well. And she probably wanted to prove herself. She probably didn't get on with her that well because she wanted to prove herself to her mother that she could be an astronaut like she was. And she got rejected. And on that same day, she was driving with Helios in the back of the car. And I personally think the astronaut that they saw was a figment of her imagination. I think she'd gone into depression and she saw the astronaut, who I think was essentially her mother. I think because I don't believe she ever was an astronaut. So the levels and the game is a metaphor for her depression. So we know that I think she imagined it's weird that her Sun said, "Have you seen? Can you see the white shadow?" That's very odd, but I reckon she imagined the astronaut because of her depression, went off the bridge, crashed, went to get her son for some reason, didn't, and then swam to the surface, called out his name, Helios, and that's when her depression started, because all of this is now her story of depression after that crash. So it's also interesting that we saw the ship so that crash landing that we do every time, that is the crash of the car. So we crash land on the planet every time the cycle restarts, and that's essentially the crash of the car. Her spaceship is called Helios. My neck's going. It's called Helios, which is the same as her son's name. And every time you leave Helios in that area, it always says something odd. It says Helios. It says like danger. Helios abandoned. And that's because I reckon that's a metaphor for you leaving Helios in the car. So, and then off you go through these and I think this, as you go through, it's her trying to deal with depression and everything that comes with depression. She's trying to make it through to the other side. She's trying to escape depression. And then in this bit here, we see her reach out to someone and she gets saved. So this is what we see after the first act, after Biome 3. And we'll go through it. So that's her being extracted from the planet. There she is, feeling relieved. She's out. Astronaut Deep Space Scout escapes rogue planet. So it's on the thing that she's escaped a rogue planet. Looks like she's got herself a house. That's Fear the Reaper. That's the song, and that's her visiting the bridge where it all came, and she's able to go back and visit this bridge. And there's something I noticed that's really cool. It's very strange that she's playing that song. It does say Selene. It says Selene. I couldn't read it first. It says Selene Vassos. It does say Selene, that gravestone. And then you wake up, if it's going to show it. God, what's happening here? So you wake up back into the world. And what's she say? She says, I escaped.
No, I can't be here. I escaped. I was... Helios, you're still here too.
Okay.
Astra, is anyone listening? It's Selene. We're both trapped.
So I think this section here is her... She came out of her depression, essentially. She came out of her depression and went back in. She got depressed for some reason. I'm not too sure why. But we'll talk about her... We'll talk about what just happened, this clip. Because it's quite clever what they do. Very clever. I noticed a few things that I didn't notice the first time round. So I think this is a metaphor for her coming out of depression, essentially. That planet is her depression. Her feeling relieved. So, One reason... Second. One reason why I think this is fake. Obviously, I don't think it actually happened. So it does say I think it tries to sort of trick you. Astra Deep Space Scout escapes rogue planet. Additional details will be revealed as the story continues to develop. So it makes you think, oh, she actually was on a planet and she escaped. But look at the time. Look at the time on the clock. 8:36 a.m. Now, I think she crashed at night, didn't she? She crashed PM, but it's 8:36, which means I think that that's a red herring sort of thing. That I think because of that time, it sort of tells us that this didn't really happen. Didn't really happen. Okay, so we don't see... Okay, next thing I noticed, the second time of watching it, look at her hands here. I'm guessing people notice this. I'm guessing this isn't a massive thing. Look at her hands, very youthful, and you're only looking at her right hand as well. Only looking at her right hand. You assume it's Selene. And again, she's playing Fear the Reaper, which was the song on the radio at the time of the crash. So I don't know whether she's reminiscing or she's got over them, because that would be a painful song if it was that big. She obviously likes the song or knows the song was playing. But she's happy to play the song. But her skin is very young looking. And she's gone to the bridge that actually happened, and it looks as though it's fixed. It's been fixed. There was a big crash, but it looks as though it's been fixed. And then there's a person with her. So there's a guy with her. Again, only right hand. That's his left hand though. No ring. It's important for the next bit. Older looking hands, I'd say. Definitely older looking hands. Don't know what the red roses signify. Maybe her love. Now two hands. Older looking hands and now a wedding ring. So we have a wedding ring and older looking hands. Now this I think is very clever. So you can tell by the music and the fact that there's a sun and the sun is setting and it sets over this placement here that things aren't going fantastically. They're starting to possibly creep. Depression's starting to creep back in. And again, much older hands. Much older hands. This could be... Why would there be a wedding though? I'm trying to think of... you could assume that the age is a metaphor for her sinking back into depression, and then her being in her grave is her sinking fully into depression again. But why would they put her married? Or is that just to make you think that she's living her life? Like, I do think at the moment now she is out of her depression, but she is slowly going back in. I think this is a metaphor for her. She came out, her escaping from the planet is her escaping from her depression, and this is now a metaphor for her slowly going back into it. And then the turning off the light is she's gone back in, she's back into depression, and then you see her gravestone. So essentially she's dead to other people. I don't think she's actually dead, I just think she's dead to other people. It could be though. No, but the problem is, so I was just thinking maybe this is at the end of the game, but she goes back in after this and she says I was out. It's weird actually, because now it doesn't make sense, because the end of the game, the final bit is you realise, I don't know, because the end of the game is when no, that isn't right, because at the end of the game I was thinking, oh, the end of the game, that would be her start of her, that's the end of her coming out of it, but it's not. That's the start of her trauma. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm confusing myself now. So when at the end of the game, when we learn her true ending, we find that she escaped the car wreck. That's not where she comes out of the end of the game. That's already happened, essentially, because the first thing that happened was essentially she crashed the car, and then she came up. She came up and survived. Helios died. That's right at the start of the game, and then she's in depression. She's in this place. That's what I think. She comes out, she has all this, and then she goes back in again. That's what I think.
No, I can't be here. I escaped.
My God, I've got hiccups.
Helios.
That's what I
He
think
was still
happened.
there too.